What would you do if the woman everyone rejected turned out to be the one who changed your life forever? Stay till the end because this story will touch your heart. And before we begin, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to Stories of Kindness for more life-changing stories. Rain drummed against the hospital windows as Ethan pushed his medication cart down the quiet rehabilitation ward. The air smelled faintly of antiseptic and loneliness. Ethan, a single father, had grown used to long hours and sleepless nights. His little daughter, Lily, was the only light in his world since losing his wife 3 years ago. Every morning before school, she would hand him something small to carry. Sometimes a cookie, sometimes a drawing. That morning, it was a bunch of daisies wrapped in a napkin. "Give these to someone who looks sad." "Daddy," she had said with her innocent smile. When Ethan entered room 207, he froze. Sitting by the window was a woman in a wheelchair, her gaze distant and empty. Her hands trembled slightly on the armrest, her beauty muted by sorrow. The nameplate on her door read Amelia Knight. Ethan remembered her instantly. Months ago, she was all over the news, a young, radiant millionaire bride who was paralyzed in a car crash, just days before her wedding. Her fiancé had vanished soon after, and the media had feasted on her tragedy. Since then, no one had seen her smile. Ethan knocked gently and stepped inside. "Good morning, Miss Knight. I brought your medicine." She didn't look up. "Just leave it," she whispered coldly. He placed the tray on the table but didn't leave. Instead, he pulled the daisies from his pocket and placed them beside her. "These are from my daughter," he said softly. "She says flowers can fix sadness." Amelia's eyes flickered toward them, confused. "You think flowers can fix paralysis?" she muttered bitterly. Ethan gave a small smile. "Maybe not your legs, but maybe your heart." For the first time in months, someone spoke to her without pity. Over the following days, Ethan would check on her after every shift, sometimes bringing a small note from Lily, other times just a smile. Slowly, Amelia began to speak, first a few words, then full sentences. She told him about her dreams, her painting, her fears of being forgotten. Ethan listened, never judging. People at the hospital whispered that the single dad was wasting time on someone broken, but Ethan didn't see a broken woman. He saw a soul trying to live again, and deep down, Amelia began to feel it too. That maybe, just maybe, she wasn't alone anymore. Spring arrived with a soft golden glow, and with it came hope, something Amelia had thought she would never feel again. Months had passed since Ethan and Lily had walked into her quiet, forgotten world. Their presence had become her medicine, their laughter her daily reminder that life still existed beyond pain. The woman who once refused visitors now looked forward to each sunrise, knowing that soon Ethan would step through her door with his kind smile and Lily's handmade cards. Physical therapy was painful, but Ethan never let her give up. He'd sit beside her wheelchair, cheering her on during every small movement, celebrating even when she could only twitch a toe. "Every little victory counts," he would say, his voice calm but filled with conviction. Amelia had spent months hating her reflection, but the way Ethan looked at her made her feel human again. Not a tragedy, not a patient, but a woman capable of being loved. Slowly, that belief started healing her more than any medicine ever could. Rumors spread through the hospital. Some said Ethan had fallen for her out of pity. Others whispered that a poor single dad didn't belong anywhere near a woman who once owned half the city. Ethan ignored them all. He worked extra shifts, making sure Lily had everything she needed, yet he never missed a single visit to Amelia's side. One afternoon, as they sat near the hospital garden, Amelia turned to him and asked softly, "Why are you still here? You owe me nothing." Ethan looked into her eyes and said, "Because someone once stayed with me when I lost everything. Now it's my turn to do the same for someone else." That day, something shifted between them. Their connection, once built on kindness, deepened into something unspoken yet powerful. Ethan found himself thinking about her even after long work hours, and Amelia began to feel her heart beat faster whenever he entered the room. Lily, innocent as ever, was the first to say it aloud. "Daddy, you smile more when Miss Amelia's around. You should marry her so she never feels sad." Again, her words brought tears to Amelia's eyes. Weeks later, on a quiet Sunday morning, Ethan made the most unexpected decision of his life. Standing beside Amelia's wheelchair in the same hospital garden where they first laughed together. He knelt down and held her trembling hand. Amelia, I don't care about what you've lost. I care about who you are. You don't need to walk to stand tall beside me. I love you for your strength, not your scars. The nurses nearby froze, stunned by his courage. Amelia's eyes filled with tears as Lily ran to hug her, shouting, "Say yes, please." Through tears, Amelia whispered, "Are you sure you want this life, Ethan? I can't give you what others can." Ethan smiled gently. "You already gave me more. You taught me to believe again." With that, she nodded, and their embrace said what words could not. Their wedding day was small but beautiful. Lily carried the same daisies that had once started their friendship. As Amelia entered the aisle, supported by her therapist and her own determination, the room fell silent. She took a shaky step, then another. The crowd gasped, but Ethan didn't move. He just smiled with pride. She reached him, tears streaming, and whispered, "You made me believe in miracles." They danced that night under the soft glow of fairy lights. The woman once abandoned had found unconditional love in the arms of a man who saw beyond her pain. As the music faded, Ethan said quietly, "Sometimes, the people the world rejects are the ones who teach us what real love means." If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to Stories of Kindness for more. True tales that remind us love has no limits.